Last season, the Fairleigh Dickinson Knights finished second in the Northeast Conference with a record of 13-5. The Knights have 4 returning starters from that team. Head coach Tom Green is gearing the Knights up for a possible non-conference upset victory over Rutgers. Last season, the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers featured one of the youngest starting 5 in the Big East. The team had a roller coaster year that earned them their 2nd straight NIT berth. This season, Kevin Bannon is looking for consistency and someone to step it up a notch following the transfer of top scorer Dante Jones. Welcome to the Lewis Brown Athletic Center, more affectionately known as the RAC, here in Piscataway, New Jersey. Today, Big East basketball features the FDU Knights of the NEC against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Hi, everyone. Scott Graham along with Jack Armstrong. Jack, at one time you were a coach. You know that these early season games, you're trying to find something out. Well, FDU's got a win under their belt. They know a couple of things. For Rutgers, this is the opener.
Well, FDU coming off an overtime win against Drexel. They put an outstanding game. Rutgers opened up against an in-state rival. Needless to say, they got to get the butterflies out of their system early on, settle in, and play hard.
FDU is relying upon a big guy inside, and he has made some great strides in his time here in the U.S. The Cameroon Crunch, Chris Ekway.
Chris Ekway does a terrific job getting position inside, and he's going to be a major factor for FDU if they're going to pull off the upset against the big Rutgers front line.
Look at the Scarlet Knights and keep an eye on Jeff Greer.
Jeff Greer, an outstanding shooter, and he and Billett make up one of the better backcourts in the Big East Conference. A major factor today for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Well, the Scarlet Knights are a team with terrific floor balance. For FDU in the early going, preseason in their first game, they've shown a lot more propensity for the outside shot, hitting from beyond the arc. Could end up being an inside versus outside battle here today as Rutgers and FDU get together. Will it be bombs away for the Knights and the inside game for the Scarlet Knights? We'll find out next.
Looking into the Bear's eyes, Tom fired. The Bear didn't flinch. Welcome.
Big East basketball at the Lewis Brown Athletic Center. FDU against Rutgers here this afternoon. Take a look at the starting lineups for FDU. Jarvis Mitchell and Lamarquis Ward make up the backcourt. Ward a big game on Friday night in the win against Drexel. Lionel Bumayako and Matt Hammond are the forwards, and a guy we talked about in our open, Chris Ekway, the senior, is the starting center. Tom Green, the winningest coach in FDU history in his 17th season, just 10 wins shy of 300 for his career. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights, Todd Billett coming off a big year. The team up with Jeff Greer in the backcourt. Up front it is Mike Thompson and Rashod Kent. A lot of size there. And Eugene Dabney at center, the 6'10" sophomore for the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. The Rutgers team, as we mentioned, that has been to the NIT for each of the last 2 years. And part of the reason is their head coach in his 4th year at the helm at Rutgers, Kevin Bannon, 48-44. Overall, in his 19th season, he's won 324 games while losing 175. Rutgers leads the all-time series 5-1. Last time they met, a big win for the Scarlet Knights, and all of the games that have been played, all 6 of them in the series, have been played right here at the RAC. Tom Lopes, Bob Adams, Ray Perrone, our officials for this afternoon.
Keys in the game today, obviously the depth is going to be a factor. FDU only has 8 players, so they have to stay out of foul trouble. And as you well know, the rules are going to be called a little tighter this year by the officials. FDU's got to be very conscious of taking care of the foul trouble.
Knights of FDU wearing their traveling black along with blue and white, controlling the tip. Rutgers coming out in a man set defensively. They'll probably show very basic defenses throughout the afternoon. And a long-range jump shot on the way will not fall for Matt Hammond. Rebound down to Dabney, and here come the Scarlet Knights. This is Thompson. Shoveling it down inside to the big guy, Kent. And a traveling violation down low on the junior, Rashod Kent.
Rutgers running their secondary break that time, trying to get Kent established right away inside against Ekway. Not bad idea, going right at the best play inside. Try to get him in some quick foul trouble.
That's a good physical battle to keep an eye on all afternoon.
Heavyweights, super heavyweights.
Absolutely, on both sides. There's Ward. Little touch pass for Hammond. Doesn't fall for him. Good defense by Kent on the help side. And now Rutgers in transition. Ball in the hands of Todd Billett. It'll be there a lot. And we've got a whistle away from the basketball, and a foul is going to be called on Fairleigh Dickinson. It'll go on Ward. It'll be his first.
Ward, terrific game the other night against Drexel. 25 points, 11 rebounds, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. Major factor for the squad. We have a clock malfunction here.
Yeah, we got a major clock malfunction. There's no way we could have played 4 minutes already.
I know. It has
almost
15:10 on the clock. This thing's flying by here. Bob Adams trying to straighten things out here. Tommy Lopes coming over to help out.
First time I've strapped on the basketball mic this year. I mean, I know the game is quick, Jack, but come on.
Very cool. A little quicker than the games you do for the Philadelphia Phillies. Particularly when it gets into middle relief with your club, right?
Now, take it easy. There's no reason to go there. It's, still November. There is Todd Billett, the sophomore from Middletown, New Jersey. 31-game starter last year. Led the team in minutes played. Officials trying to straighten this out, and now they've got it. Telling Tom Green that in reality only a minute 6 has expired, not 4 minutes and 50 seconds.
I used to love it when the clock was broke. You used a hand clock. If you were winning, you speeded things up. If you were losing, you just held it back a little.
Did that really go on?
Absolutely.
Greer, the deep foul line jumper, is way off, but he's got his own rebound. Trying to set up Billett. Got a good screen in the open jumper for the first 2 of the game.
Terrific movement without the ball that time. Billett on the right baseline. Quick release.
Jarvis Mitchell, the senior from Flint, Michigan. Just inside the line. Hits on his 2-point jumper. And we got a tie game.
You see Mitchell's left wrist. Banged it up a little bit against Drexel the other night. Not 100% today, but he can shoot it.
That's Kent. Got Billett for 3. And the rebound down to Mitchell.
Billett's got the green light, a neon green light. Every time he gets it, he's going to have a chance.
Penetration by Ward. He looked to the official for a foul call, didn't get it. And now Mitchell drains the 3.
I guess that wrist doesn't bother him that much. He shot 5 for 8 the other night against Drexel from 3-point range. And he missed his 4 field goals inside 3. So he's a long-range specialist.
Part of the reason FDU hit 11 3-pointers in that overtime win. And now contact away from the basketball, and another foul call going against FDU. This one's going to go against Mitchell. Jarvis Mitchell picks up his first, and team foul number 2.
Mitchell, Bomayako, and Ward made 11 of 17 from 3 the other night.
Dabney, good position off this set play on the inbound. But Rutgers a little cold with the shot here in the opening 2.5 minutes. Bomayako. A little bit too strong. Fight for the rebound, won by Ward. And now Hammett, with contact, will earn a trip to the free throw line.
That time the old rule, long shot, long rebound. The Rutgers interior players, Kent and Dabney inside, get a little bit too far underneath the basket. Thompson picking up that foul. Good second effort on the backboards. Hammond get to the line.
Hammond was 0 for 1 from the line the other night. The opener against Drexel, junior out of Burlington, New Jersey. And he'll have one more try.
Last year only averaged 6 minutes a game, so this is an opportunity for him, particularly with all the injuries and academic problems that FDU has as he makes the second one. Gives him an opportunity to really play major minutes early part of the season for the Knights.
Tom Green also had a player that just unexpectedly up and left in the first week of November. There's Dabney. Nice feed from Billett on the bounce pass. And that gets the Scarlet Knights back within 3.
Good identification, getting inside there, and Dabney coming strong to the ball, getting a deep space inside. Unstoppable when he gets it that deep. Emphatic dunk in there.
Rutgers stepping up the defensive pressure, bringing it out a little further on the Knights. Ward trying to take Thompson to the baseline, and he stepped on the end line for a turnover.
Nice job by Thompson that time, and he's not the quickest guy going east-west, but he anticipated good reading of the scouting report, knows he goes right, cut off the baseline.
Thompson trying to set that high screen for Billett. Billett calling out the traffic. Nice spin move by Kent, and a nicer block by Hammond. An athletic play as the save is made. Shot clock did not reset, and Billett ends up throwing it away.
Good team defense. A lot of quality help by the Knights inside.
Ekwe had room and an open jumper from the free throw line.
Good identification that time by Hammond, hooking up Ekwe. Ekwe's got to knock that shot down, keep the defense honest.
That's Thompson, just inside the arc.
Beautiful set play that time. The two bigs, Dabney, Kent setting a double screen, a little staggered screen there on the left side. Thompson, good screen usage coming off. Perfect execution on the catch and shoot play.
This is where Ekwe wants to make his mark today. And he has it ripped down by Dabney, but perseveres.
Sign of a good post play. A second and third effort. A lot of times you meet resistance on the first attempt. It's what you do beyond that.
Both teams kind of feeling each other out. Greer drains the three and ties the game at 9.
Jeff Greer shot 39% from three last year. Can't leave him open.
31st player in Rutgers history to pass the 1,000-point mark. He did it last year.
He's only the third player to get 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, 250 assists. That's pretty good.
Rutgers in a 2-3 zone now.
Kevin Bannon said they changed their looks. Man-to-man, 2-3 zone, a little soft pressure.
And changing out of that zone doesn't make much difference for Jarvis Mitchell, who now has 7. Back the other way. Ball will belong to Rutgers when we come back. Well, end to end, they're turning it up a notch here in the first half. Kevin Bannon, who has spent his entire head coaching career in the state of New Jersey, taking on a former NEC rival and trailing by 2. Take a look at what goes on with this Rutgers team. The inside feed could be big today.
Good screen inside that time. Thompson setting them up, and Dabney with the finish. Beautiful feed by that man right there, Todd Billett.
He's got a little more of a comfort zone this year because big brother and former Rutgers star Jeff Billett is now a Rutgers assistant coach.
Jeff with a great career here at Rutgers. 9th all-time leading scorer. Started his coaching career last year at Monmouth down there in the Jersey Shore.
And now a steal of the inbound as Hammond got in the way. And FDU with a 2-point lead, bringing it across. Amayako gets cut off. Not a lot of room to make cuts toward the basket for FDU. There's Ekwe. 2 men on him. And there's the second effort you're talking about, Jack. And the third effort to keep the rebound alive. Way downtown for Mitchell. And right down with the rebound.
Rutgers post plays are doing a good job standing at ground, but then they got to go get the ball.
Greer for 3. And that tapped rebound finally covered up by Sherrod. Blocked by Ekwe. Oh my! Super block on the dunk attempt by Dabney. Dabney's going to go to the free throw line, but wow.
And it's not like Dabney took this ball up soft. I mean, he took the ball hard. He's looking to dunk it. Ekwe sending it out of there. Beautiful rejection inside. And nice feed inside that time by Sherrod coming up with the loose ball. You couldn't ask for a better reaction from your post player inside than Ekwe right there.
Dabney draining the first.
I'm sorry, it makes you think twice when you get the ball around the basket now. If you're Dabney, Kent, Wright, you got to be conscious of where the big fella is in terms of shot blocking now.
1 out of 2 and the rebound for Ekwe.
Ekwe had 5 blocks the other night against Drexel, and they have a quality big man in Todd Lindemann, who sat out last year for the Dragons. He's a good one.
1-point ball game. Ward with the feet inside, but there was contact before the pass came to the inside, and that's on Eugene Dabney.
You know, I touched on a little bit early on, Scott. The referees are really calling the post play a lot tighter in terms of physical play around the basket, hand checking on the perimeter, you know, as well as the fact that you talk about setting solid screens, no moving on the screens, as well as no banging of the cutters. They're really trying to clean things up and open the game up a little bit, make it a little bit more offensive friendly game.
And a quick timeout had to be called for by Mitchell. Good job defensively by Rutgers, making sure that he had nowhere to go on the inbound. And it's a short timeout.
30-second timeout here. Good job that time by Rutgers defending on the inbound play there. And so far, I think the more than anything else, both teams trying to establish their post play. And again, when you talk about the fact that neither team with a lot of depth, Rutgers, Kevin Bannon will go with 9 players, whereas Tom Green only has 8 dressed. So needless to say, you want to get into the foul trouble early on the opposite side.
Now up to you, as we mentioned, the win over Drexel, 97-87 in overtime on Friday night.
I mean, in FDU, I mean, obviously right now, Marcus Whitaker is sitting out for academics, and you can see the standings from last year. FDU, a real good ball club, and they're picked, you know, most polls in the top 3 again this year. They have one of the better teams returning in that conference.
And you can see top to bottom, wide range in that conference. It was won by Central Connecticut State in the regular season last year.
Good ball club, Corsley Edwards, John Tice, Dean Walker, and then you look at that conference. Anybody can win it, particularly if you take care of business on your home court. Rutgers in more of a rebuilding mode right now. And obviously the loss of Dante Jones, a tough blow to their chances this year going into the season.
Now, official Bob Adams originally put his hands on his shoulders. You saw it and I saw it, so we're not liars, that this was a 30-second timeout. And now it's been extended into a full timeout.
Well, you know, we have all the problems in the presidential election right now, so kind of anything goes these days.
Yeah, I guess no matter what is actually said or what you actually see, you don't necessarily believe it until it's final or something like that.
That's what we're experiencing at this moment, so.
That's true.
But, you know, you look at FDU right now, Scott. I mean, they lose Marcus Whitaker. He's a freshman, talented, clearinghouse issues, and then you have injuries to James Felton, their talented player. You know, out of Marist High School, transferred over from St. Peter's. His fourth school started off at St. John's, and you know they're really banged up right now. But FDU, when they get all their players back, going to be a good ball club in their conference. They're starting a stretch today, 10 of their next 11 on the road.
That is tough.
Who did their schedule?
Inbound for Ekwe, big position on right. There's a battle. Kent comes over, and Ward is there for the put-in.
Ekwe will claim that was a pass. He'll want the assist on that. Nice job by Ward, clean up the glass. He's very capable inside, picking up the garbage.
You realize Ekwe was going up against 550 pounds of defense at that point? Here's Wright. And Kareem Wright a little too strong with it as Ekwe clears the board.
Those guys losing a few LBs like the deck chair falling off the Titanic, right?
Exactly. Perimeter passing for FDU.
Really playing off Ekwe inside there. Right, not even guarding him, just laying off him, challenging him to take that shot.
Well, he's missed that deep foul line jumper twice now, and Greer corrals the rebound.
That's a big part of scouting report. Make people play to their strengths.
This is Greer.
Rutgers loves using this high 1-4 attack. They run a number of screens off of it and go inside.
Well, one came open, and Wright got the 2.
Nice read that time by Kent. Billett came off on the left side, attracted attention, and good duck in that time by Wright. Easy look. And when you have those good perimeter players that stretch the defense out, it opens up your post play so much more. The post players from Rutgers, I think, are going to have a real good year.
Ekwe has it opened up for him, and he traveled with the basketball. Shot's not going to matter, as Tom Lopes whistles him for the violation of traveling. A couple of changes now in the lineup coming into the game. Ike Williams, the senior for FDU, replacing Hammond. And also set to check in after a timeout will be Renardo Brown. But there is a timeout on the floor with the 11:41 to go here in the first half of play, and FDU with a 1-point lead. 13-12, Fairleigh Dickinson here in the early going of the first half at the rack. And our stats flash showing Knights shooting 5 out of 15, Rutgers 5 out of 12. Neither team really lighting it up. Turnovers have been kept down, the rebounds dead even for the first 8 minutes of basketball.
And FDU now trying to extend the court. This has been a strategy coming in here. Even though they have 8 players, they want to really get this into an up-tempo game. It more suits their style. A little 1-2-1-1 pressure right here.
And here it comes, and Sherrod had it tied up. Possession arrow points Rutgers' way, but it was a held ball.
And now, when you see today, FDU will mix it up. They'll go 1-2-1-1, a little 2-2-1 pressure, some traps over half court, even a little triangle 2 box and 1, a little junk defense on occasion on Greer and Billett.
Got to get it out of those corners, got to get it away from the big men, but before that happens, Ike Williams with a reach-in foul.
If you're going to extend, you must move your feet and close those traps. No reaching and slapping in those traps. Defeats the purpose.
That's the first on Ike Williams and the 4th team foul on the Knights.
Ike Williams with a double-double the other night against Drexel, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Versatile, tough player around the basket.
Here you go, a little zone right now.
Show a lot of looks, Tom Green's ball clubs over the years.
Rutgers looking to penetrate it.
And FDU can afford to go zone with Greer out of the ball game. The one shooter in the game right now is Billett, so they'll really shade to him.
Shot clock down to 5. And there is Billett. Beat the buzzer, couldn't get it to go, but the follow and a pretty one from Rashod Kent.
Yeah, and on the weak side, anytime a shot goes up, your weak side blockouts are imperative. Long, hard ones, because that's where it's coming off.
And a foul call going the other way. Ekwe, who was fighting for a position down low, is going to get called for the personal foul.
Great job inside by Wright. Look at him working on the weak side, and then Kent coming in behind him for the rebound. Kent, referred to as recruiting guru Tom Konchowski, says about him, a mountain masquerading as a man. What a great line.
Pretty much says it all. Sherrod, good feed for Kent inside. And a soft touch from the big man puts the Scarlet Knights up by 3.
What I love about him, he's got soft hands and he presents himself so well coming down the lane. 62% lifetime field goal percentage guy, tops in Rutgers history so far.
Rutgers doing a good job of turning up the defensive pressure. This is Ward. Nowhere to go.
They've done a nice job mixing the defense as well in man-to-man right now.
Long-range jumper for Jarvis Mitchell. He now has 10 of his team's 16 points.
Billett's going to have to crowd him a little bit more, Scott, and challenge him to put the ball on the floor and drive it a little bit. He's got the help inside. Can't give him those clean looks. He's got a hot hand.
Sherrod hitting from 18 feet away.
Sherrod, a talented freshman out of Robeson High School in Brooklyn. Good 15 to 17-foot shooter. Catches, shoot, and can put it to the deck. This is a guy that they have a lot of high hopes for here at Rutgers.
Ekwe missing on his 3rd foul line jumper of the game. Right with his save that worked. And here comes Brown, key in the break. Ball all over the floor, and Sherrod is going to earn a trip to the line. More importantly, Jack, that is going to be foul number 3 on Ekwe. Huge
play in the game right there. Jeff Billett living right. He doesn't get the turnover call on him. Ball scoots ahead. Beautiful play here by Jarvis Mitchell. And it finds the hands of Sherrod. And you're right, Ekwe, that is a crucial play in the game right here. Mark it down, 9:18 left. Rutgers up 2. Now the big fella with his 3rd foul. Tom Green with a decision. And really, there is no decision. You've got to take him out.
I don't think there is either. Much too much time to try to leave him in.
And it changes your game plan as well. You come in saying, hey, we want to press, trap, up-tempo a little bit. Now you say, hey, when he goes back in a game, I might have to play a little bit of zone in order to hide the fact that my big fella's got 3 fouls. And now Matt Hammond will check back in for Ekwe.
Tom Green having to make that decision, had it taken out of his hands with Ekwe's 3rd.
Tom Green's done a wonderful job at FDU, all-time leader in wins, both at FDU and in the Northeast Conference. As you mentioned earlier, only 10 games away, 18th year at FDU. You don't hear that many places.
Foul call on Dabney down low as the Knights continue to try to establish the inside position even without Ekwe. So that is 2 on Dabney and 3 on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Well, you know, again, we talked about it earlier. The refs are going to call it tight, so the players have to make this adjustment. When I do the Toronto Raptor games as well, and the NBA did the same thing a year ago. really try to tighten things up, and it's really helped the game, the flow of the game. And I think as the players here get adjusted to it, it'll work itself out.
Baba Yako downs a three-pointer. Check that. It's only going to go for 2. And it will be a game tied at 18.
Rutgers, FDU goes zone now. They have to keep their better players on the court.
Well, you talk about calling it tight. Another whistle down in the paint. And a foul call on Ike Williams.
Well, the players don't like it. And at the same time, they will make the adjustment as time goes on. They will learn to move their feet inside and not rely as much on body contact around the basket, but really work on in-post defensive concepts, getting around with your feet.
Well, just because he's going to learn doesn't mean he's real happy about it, as you said.
Absolutely.
That's Williams' second, and team foul number 7, so Kent's going to go to the line now for a 1-and-1.
And this is a huge part of Rashod Kent's game that has to improve. Only shot 46% last year from the free throw line. Misses that free throw right there. And, if you're going to be a big-time power player in this conference, the Big East Conference, you have got to draw fouls, get to the line, and take care of business, because I think this guy's capable of double-doubles every night. But in order to get to that level, you got to take care of business at the free throw line.
Now, in this case, it doesn't hurt them, because as the ball dropped out of bounds off the hand of Hammond, Rutgers gets it back again.
FDU, once again, a 1-2-2 zone, really shade on the perimeter.
That's Greer from 3. And keeping the weak side rebound alive was Aksani. But here's Mitchell now into the forecourt for the Knights.
That's where you got to get your shots from, though, against that zone. The corners and the baseline are what are available.
Williams had it stripped away, but a reach-in foul is going to be called on Greer. That'll be team foul number 4 on the Scarlet Knights.
And all the concepts we talked about already, Scott, they're really officiating crew doing a nice job of calling things tight early on to establish the fact that, hey, this is how you're going to play the game this year. Williams, by the way, tries to be a little creative for a front court player. Got himself in a little trouble the other night, though. 5 turnovers in the game against Drexel.
Ward missed on the baseline jumper, and the rebound down to Brown. By the way, that foul call was on Kent, not on Greer. Tie ball game. Sherrod, the freshman, unties it.
Oh boy, what a beautiful first step, going right to his right hand from the left side there. And not only his first step, but his last step. He came to a good hard jump stop and extended and took it strong. He's going to be a good one.
Yet another call away from the basketball. And Aksani called for a push, trying to fight through the screen. So that's 5 team fouls now for the Scarlet Knights. And we have got a timeout on the floor. 7:53 to go here in the first half of play. It's been a battle here in the opener for Rutgers, leading Fairleigh Dickinson by 2. Rutgers with a 2-point lead here in the first half of play. Opening game for the Scarlet Knights. Part of the Big East Conference, and coming off the back-to-back NIT appearances. We made reference to it in our opening comments here, Jack. This team is going to miss Dante Jones, make no mistake.
No doubt, and obviously as well, you know, Hervé Amazana, a talented player from St. Patrick's High School, not eligible this year, and a player from St. Patrick's High School, not eligible this year. And we also had Casper Cyprus sign, a player from Latvia who didn't qualify, didn't come over then. And think of this Rutgers team with those 3 players. Whole different ball game. But Kevin Banner, a terrific coach. He'll find a way with this ball club.
Always has found a way to win. As we mentioned, super career record, including 8 years at Rider and 7 years at then Trenton State.
I've coached against Kevin many times. His teams are always disciplined, good shot selection. They're never out of place defensively, and they always do a great job in terms of their scouting report, taking away what you want to do.
We're packing it down now. Coming out and challenging on the wings, Baba Yako can't get it to sit. Big rebound for Kent, and the reach-in foul will be called on Lamarquis Ward.
I love how Kent goes after the rebounds. He extends himself, and a sign of a great rebound is how they get it in traffic. And that time there were a few other people around him, but there was no doubt the big fella was getting it.
Now he goes after it hard. You talk about the big fella, 6'6", 265.
And you know, not only is he a guy that's a positional guy, he uses his size and strength to get position, but he's improved his face-up game. Had a nice trip in Chile this summer. By the way, the Rutgers team, foreign tour, they went 3-3 on a 12-day tour of Chile. He makes the first free throw. He had 11 points and 6 rebounds on that trip. So I think that's a great thing for a team. Anytime you go on a foreign tour, kind of redefine roles, kind of get adjusted for the new season.
Also gives guys a chance to kind of connect and get together more so as teammates, doesn't it?
No doubt. I did 2 of those tours when I was the head coach at Niagara. And the season following that, I thought we had great chemistry as a ball club.
4-point lead for the Scarlet Knights now as we come up on 7 minutes left in the first half.
Rutgers going back to the zone here.
Way outside, Bamoyako on the miss. And Rutgers is pushing Fairleigh Dickinson further and further from the basket.
He took that shot from Teaneck.
Billet can't get the 3. Kent has been a force here in the first half.
As I mentioned earlier, weak side blockouts, long shot, long rebound. That time Ike Williams stood and watched, didn't check out. When you do that, Kent takes advantage.
6 points now for Kent, and that is the margin in this game for Rutgers.
Well, let's face it, FDU played on Friday night in an overtime game, and now you play an afternoon game on Sunday. Fatigue could become a factor.
Williams off the drop step, can't get it to go. Rashod has got a 2-on-3. Good hand in the passing lane by Bamoyako to break up that play. And now another hand in the passing lane as Oksani is going to force FDU to inbound the basketball.
Great job on the backboards here inside. Look at Ike Williams. He never gets a body on Kent, and Kent with those soft hands just reaches over the top of him. Again, you got to check people out on jump shots further away from the basket than you're normally used to.
Williams has the open look from 3, but won't take it. Bamoyako in some trouble, and now Hammond drains the 3-point jumper.
Hammond not shy at all. That's the second long-range shot he's taken, and Tom Green will take the offense from anywhere he can get it right now without Chris Ekway in the ball game with 3 fouls.
Question is, will we see Ekway again before this half ends?
Well, if you can stay within 5-6 points, I think you keep him out of the game. Can't afford to get him his 4th foul, and you sit in the zone. If you do bring him back in, you have to play zone the entire possession.
Shot clock under 10. Sherrod looks to see how much time he's got. And then with a little move, finds the shot. Oksani the follow.
There's that man Kent again, though, keeping it alive on the offensive glass. Somebody in those blue shirts has got to get a body on a big fella.
Williams, good bounce look for Hammond, but couldn't get it in there. And now a long bounce pass from Greer to Billet. Pretty play by Ward defensively.
Sweet pass that time by Greer, but even better play by Ward. Sprint back, making up for the turnover.
Back and forth they go.
FDU's tired right now, Scott. You can see it in their body language right now. Not running their offense with any crispness.
Looping pass and not a good decision. Oksani takes it away.
Those are the mistakes you made when you're a little fatigued. You just lob it in there and instead of throwing a sharp, crisp pass into the post.
Oksani, the left-hander, can't get it to fall.
His first game, he's a redshirt freshman. A little bit jittery so far. Kind of like working with you. I always get a little nervous having the opportunity.
I can see that, sure.
Be with you.
Absolutely.
I'm getting over it, though.
Well, it's not the last you and I are going to see of each other this year, pal. So.
Thankfully.
Coming up on 4 minutes left in the half. Shot clock now down under 10. And there's Mitchell. He's had a big first half. Too strong with the 3. And look at Kent inside.
Mitchell so much better, though, on catch and shoot rather than setting himself up off the bounce for the jumper. Better defense that time. They locked in a little deeper on him as well.
Kent found his way inside and earned a trip to the line as Ike Williams is called for the foul.
Oh, I love this guy. He's so crafty. He gets space deep inside. He's an immovable object. Then a little spin move inside and then back a little up and under to his right hand. Really knows what he's doing in there. Watch him in here. A little spin move here on the baseline and then bang, right back up. Just shows that spin and then right back at it.
Kent will go to the free throw line now.
And a lot of times all you got to do is show that you're going to go for the spin and then go back into the lane. That's what he does beautifully.
Missing on the first. Importantly here, You had a problem for FDU. You had Ekway, who was on the bench with 3 fouls, and now
Ike Williams.
that is 3 fouls on Ike Williams, the guy who's come in to replace him. So you're running out of bodies.
You sure are. You got any eligibility? Scott, you can get it out there and suit up.
You know what? I don't think I have any eligibility left.
Kento has great mechanics inside. I mean, he makes his moves hard.
Oh,
Free throw shooting needs a little work.
yeah, that is 2 rough free throws for Kent, who struggled from the line today.
Good mechanics inside, though. Great footwork. Got to work on a free throw shooting.
Line drive 3 won't sit. Now Hammond, the putback and the foul.
That time Kent mistimed his jump. I'll tell you what, Hammond's playing a good ball game so far. This is unexpected from him. 7 points. He's a guy, as I mentioned earlier, he played 6 minutes last year. There we go. Kent mistimes his jump there, and Hammond in the right place at the right time. Take care of business.
Hammond 7 points here early, try to tie up the game. And does. And we've got a timeout on the floor here at the rack at Rutgers. Now Rutgers has had its opportunities, and FDU has done what they can to close some ground, try to stay close. 3:22 left first half. Tie game with 3:22 to go here in the first half. Game number 2 for Fairleigh Dickinson, the opener here for the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. And we have seen an end-to-end game. We have seen some good play on the boards. Tom Green playing a little bit shorthanded to begin with here today, has 2 of his big men in some foul trouble. And Todd Billett has not been much of a factor offensively here in the first half.
Rutgers has hurt themselves as well. He's got 3 for 8 from the free throw line, and the 2 big fellas, Ekway and Williams, for FDU with 3 fouls each. Tom Green now going back. Actually, they're a little triangle and 2. I'm sorry, a little triangle and 2 here on Billett and Green.
He's got to be so careful here. And Rutgers realizes it, but an offensive foul called on Kareem Wright.
I haven't coached in 3 years, so it took me about 3-4 seconds to figure out it was a triangle and 2. But that time, Rutgers a little bit out of sync. Great job taking the charge inside by Ike Williams. Anytime you throw a new defense at a team, it takes them a little bit of time, and normally the ball then is not in the hands of the guy you want it. Wright, overly aggressive on his take to the basket. Good call that time out on the timeout by Tom Green, changing up and take the best 2 players out of it. Greer and Billett are the catalysts for this Rutgers ball club.
Williams. And called for traveling along the baseline.
Dragged that pivot foot as he spun on the right baseline. Got to keep it anchored.
5th turnover for FDU here in the first half. Under 2.5 minutes to play now as the Scarlet Knights bring it up. Can't draw a crowd. Tried to pass it right on through. That's going to start a 3-on-2 for the Knights of Fairleigh Dickinson. Ward off the spin, can't get it to sit.
Sweet move by Ward, but I tell you what, Greer with great reaction defensively.
And Greer lost the handle. It got knocked away, and he couldn't control it.
And Greer got a little bit too caught up in the moment. He had a nice block, and now he's trying to make an end-to-end play, trying to get on SportsCenter tonight.
I think that's what he was trying to do?
I think so. Rutgers, little box and 1 now, actually, defensively. Yes, they're playing a little box and 1 here.
Billett trying to stay with Ward, but Hammond came wide open, and FDU retakes a 2-point lead.
I'll tell you what, FDU's done a great job holding the fort, surviving, hanging on till halftime, until they can get their better player in there, Ekway.
That is Thompson feeding the post, and Kent wide open. Big man to big man. The assist from Kareem Wright.
You know, I was talking to Danny Hurley, Kevin Bannon's fine assistant, and he said, the thing I like about our 3 big players, Wright, Kent, and Dabney, they're all good interior passers. They can play with each other. That was a sweet feed inside.
Coming up on a minute to play. FDU has stayed right with Rutgers here in the first half.
And those inside plays are bang-bang plays. You got to have soft touch on your passes.
Lamarquis Ward is called for the travel. And Rutgers will get it back again on the FDU turnover.
Sweet feed inside here. Inside right, setting up Kent, and no backside rotation by FDU once again. And that's good identification. Right turning into the lane, and then Kent just kind of chilling. Nobody picks him up on a rotation. Easy two.
30-second timeout for Kevin Bannon and Rutgers, as we've only got 57 and change left till halftime. Coming up at the half, Mick Moninghoff will join us courtside, taking a look at Todd Billett, the fine sophomore from the Scarlet Knights. On the first half recap. All of your stats coming up as well at halftime, which, as we said, is a little less than a minute away.
Kevin Bannon's squad, you know, on the whole, played a pretty good ball game today, but you got to be a little concerned if you're KB going into the locker room at halftime. Chris Ekway hasn't played most of the half, and you have not been able to pull away.
Well, I told you a little bit earlier about his career as a head coach. The time at Rider, the time at what was then called Trenton State.
College of New Jersey now.
That is correct. Thompson, the miss, but the tip and follow, I believe, belonged to Kent.
Give it to Kent. No blockouts. FDU once again doing a good job defending the first shot in your sequence, but they're not doing a good job finishing off possessions defensively with blockouts and securing rebounds.
Ramayako can't get the three to sit down, and Kent with the outlet for Billett, but it's kicked away. Hammond, and a charging foul called on Hammond. Now, as if Kent has not done enough here in the first half with 12 points in his rebounds. He takes the charging foul with 16.2 left in the half.
Well, that's one of those plays makes you pull your hair out. And needless to say, when you talk about the fact that 18 seconds on a clock and Hammond trying to make a play, pull the ball out, get the ball to your point guard, Mitchell, last shot, you're on the road. Whatever you do, you go in either with a tie or you're stuck two. But under no circumstances do you give the ball back to your opposition. But that's what happens when a big fella handles the ball.
Which is why big fellas don't often handle the ball.
Exactly.
Look at the Scarlet Knights. Opportunity for the final shot, and assuredly the lead going into halftime. Trying to free up Billett. It's not there. Kent well covered, so Sherrod will take it himself. Kent got another tip. Wouldn't fall. And there is the whistle ending the first half of play.
Tom Green's got to say, will somebody put a body on this guy?
Rashod Kent, a big first half with 12 points. One more opportunity right before halftime. And the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, in their open to the season, lead by 2. Let's take it down to Mick Moninghoff.
All right, thanks very much. Kevin Bannon joins us. And Kevin, able to establish the inside presence. That's what you wanted to do in the first half.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the way our guys played. We got them in a little bit of foul trouble. Unfortunately, we didn't take enough of advantage of it.
What's the defensive adjustment you want to make in a two-point game?
Yeah, well, I thought we did a great job. The only thing I'm not happy about is a 3 for 9 from the line, and not very good in transition. We had some great opportunities to get some exciting things done in transition, and we came up empty quite a few times.
All right, Coach, look forward to seeing you in the second half.
All right, thanks, man.
That's Kevin Bannon as his team leads right now by 2, 28-26 over FDU at the half. We'll come back and take a look at one of the top players of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, so stay with us. We'll be back to the rack in just a moment. Welcome back here to the rack. We are at halftime with the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers leading Fairleigh Dickinson by 2, 28-26. Well, although he hasn't scored much in the first half, Todd Billett is going to be a big factor this year for the Scarlet Knights, taking the place in the scoring column for Dante Jones, who's now transferred and going on to Duke. Make no mistake about it, Billett's the man who's going to be the glue this year. The Scarlet Knights of Rutgers are relying heavily on point guard Todd Billett to be the glue that holds this team together. That may seem like a lot to ask from a 6-foot sophomore, but after starting all 31 games last season, Todd says he's ready for his leadership role.
Coming as a freshman, it's tough. You kind of have to get the players' respect and get the coaching staff's respect, and as you show what you can do, and as you have to gain that kind of confidence from the rest of your team. And hopefully, I've gained that last year, and hopefully it'll be sort of my team this year.
He's earned the confidence of head coach Kevin Bannon, who says that Billett is like having another coach on the floor.
The next step for Todd, and he's doing it so well, is just
just running the show, you know, and just being a coach on the floor, knowing when, you know, we need to sort of back it out a little bit, knowing when we can take it up another notch, and just saying the right things on and off the court, for that matter, you know, and just being my right arm.
And in addition to having Billett leading the team on the court this season, there's a Billett on the sidelines too, as Todd's brother Jeff, a former Rutgers standout, has joined the coaching staff. But does that add more pressure on the sophomore?
A lot of people ask me that, but I was more comfortable with him being here. When he told me, I was very excited when he told me he was coming. We have a close relationship. We have a good working relationship. He's put me through many workouts, and he wants me to get better, and he loves Rutgers. So it's a great combination, and I'm just glad he's here.
For Rutgers to be successful this year, several players will have to step up and fill key roles. And Todd Billett, he knows his.
I think I'm going to have to lead the team consistently and make sure everyone's on the same page, and that's what a good leader does, and I think that's what a team needs to win in this conference.
Well, Billett may not have hit the scoring column too much in the first half, but he's concentrating on getting the ball inside today. That's one of the reasons why right now Rutgers is up by 2 over FDU at the half, 28-26. We'll come back and take a look at the leading scorers, so stay with us here at the Rack. We are back here at Rutgers at the half, 28-26. The Scarlet Knights lead the Knights of FDU. Well, so far this afternoon, the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers have taken the ball inside, and their leading scorer is Rashod Kent. He currently has 12 points here at the intermission. Like we say, the Scarlet Knights want to get the ball inside, and Kent has been doing a job. Scores with a tip in here to lead all scorers in the game with 12. Also 4 for Sherrard, and that has been pretty much the balance the way things have gone for Rutgers here in the first half. And when you take a look at FDU, good playmaking by Lamarquis Ward as he sets up Jarvis Mitchell for the 3. He drains it from outside, and so far this afternoon, Jarvis Mitchell has 10 points to lead the way. Also Hammond chipping in double figures with 10 for FDU. Well, when we come back here to the Rack in just a moment, we'll run down some more first half stats. So stay with us. Right now, Rutgers leading FDU by 2 here in Piscataway this afternoon.
We all know there's too much violence in the world.
There's violence in our own communities, schools, and homes.
So what can you and I do about it?
We can start by simply respecting each other and tolerating our differences.
Because we all are different. We look different, we think different, we act different.
But we all deserve the same respect.
Think about it. We don't have to like each other, but we do need to respect each other and our right to be different.
It's the first step towards experiencing peace in our homes, our schools, our communities, and maybe even the world.
Well, here at Rutgers, you've got a tight game at halftime, the inside-outside game, and right now the Scarlet Knights are dominating the paint.
Rashod Kent, 6 offensive rebounds, 12 on the game for Rutgers. I think that's the big difference so far. But Rutgers has not cashed in, only 3 of 9 from the free throw line. They got to do a better job defending as well in transition.
Well, there you see field goal percentage. Neither team really lighting it up. The 3 for 9, something that concerned Kevin Bannon. But look at the points in the paint. 16-8 with Rutgers on top. And the Scarlet Knights right now owning a 2-point lead here at halftime at the Rack. A lot more to go in the second half of action. Rutgers with a 2-point lead here at halftime. We'll be back. Now ready to begin the second half of play. Rutgers with a 2-point lead over Fairleigh Dickinson going into this second half. And what have they found out about themselves here in their first 20 minutes of action? Well,
I think Rutgers found out the fact that they can rely a little bit more on their front court people. Rashod Kent has been very impressive, as well as Dabney, up front has done a nice job. And when you talk about inside, I mean, that makes a big difference when you can take a little bit of pressure off your guards, because Greer and Billett do so much for you.
They talk about Billett, and there are 2 Billets right there. Todd breaking huddle and Jeff Billett, now an assistant coach for Kevin Bannon over on the bench. And you take a look, the Billett recount, looking back at what Jeff did in his career as a star here at Rutgers, 9th leading scorer on the Scarlet Knights all-time list. And Todd off to a super start last year in his freshman season.
Not bad having your brother tutor you now, as well as take you to the rack when you're a little kid and make you a player. And come out of a great high school program as well, Christian Brothers Academy, Lincroft, New Jersey. I had the good fortune when I was an assistant at Fordham to coach Bill Paterno, one of the all-time leading scorer in Fordham history, out of the same program. John Crotty, of course, playing the NBA now. Great program.
Ekwe back on the floor now, and here comes Fairleigh Dickinson with their first possession. Babayako ties the game at 28. He's got 4.
It's a feisty FDU bunch. They've really come out here and stepped up to the challenge of playing on the road.
Dabney firing and hitting.
As I was talking about before, the front court people feel like they can fit in this year and do a lot more. With Dante Jones not on the squad anymore, they're emerging as more of a consistent force in their offense.
Now here is Ekwe working on Kent. Nice move to the inside, the follow, and the third try. Now number 4. Blocked again. How about a 5th? No. Kicks back outside. And Greer with a steal. But stepped on the sideline. It'll go back over again to FDU. You want to talk about being persevering inside.
Oh, my God. I love it. Absolutely love it. Ekwe just battling and battling inside. 5 different opportunities around the basket. Look at him just go get it. He's got big hands. He's persistent. And when people say he got a hard nose, he is hard-nosed. I mean, he's willing to take a beating from Dabney and Wright and Kent inside, just going back at him each time. A lot of guys back off when they get their shot blocked. It takes a lot of guts to keep getting back at people.
Nice look for Ekwe, who lost the ball on the way up. And now here comes Greer for Rutgers.
Rutgers has done a real good job reacting to cuts inside, stepping up, making it tough to score.
That's Dabney. And he's now got 2 baskets here in the opening moments of the second half, and 7 for the game.
Well, I think he's going to be the surprise player this year for the Rutgers team. Most improved player. Coaching staff feels like he's made the most strides since the end of the last season.
Mitchell. Short on the 3-pointer, and Kent another big rebound.
Does he go get it or what?
Don't want to get in his way. 10 boards. Here's Thompson. And Ekwe corrals the rebound for FDU.
If Thompson can just do those little things, knock down those open shots, maybe solid role player for the Scarlet Knights. Got to make those.
Babayako off the miss. Good job to keep the rebound alive by Ward.
You can tell it's early in the year. There's a lot of those long rebounds. Dabney called for the foul there in the post, but there's a lot of those long rebounds that are going to the offense rather than the defense securing. And I think as the more both coaches, Tom Green, Kevin Bannon, will take that, break the film down, and now the next few days break it down in practice with a few drills to concentrate on weak side rebounding.
Ward drifted a bit on the shot and missed it. Ekwe, an offensive rebound. Now Ward again. It tickled the rim and fell off, and Greer there for the rebound. FDU shooting cold to start the second half, and a charging foul, a big call as Ekwe stepped in and ended up taking a charge.
And Ekwe with 3 fouls. A lot of times guys will just step directly out of the way. Watch him here. Greer with a nice move into the lane, and then Ekwe, stepping in, taking a charge. And that was close. The block charge called toughest in basketball. He was moving a slight bit. Thankfully for FDU, he stays in the ballgame.
Ward missing on his shot, and a reach-in foul is going to be called on the rebound. Which way is it going? It's on Ekwe, and that's his 4th.
Oh, boy. Well, he didn't get it on the block charge play, but he got it there, and now Tom Green immediately has to go to Ike Williams, someone off the bench. FDU, Mitchell and Ward to start the second half have come down and settled into jump shots early in the clock, and you could see him going right over the back there. Bang, bang play again. Could have gone either way, but Kent has been a force. And you know what? When you're that physical and you're that dominant on the backboards, you get the benefit of the doubt.
So now, with Ekwe on the bench, it's back to Williams, who is playing with 3 fouls. Rutgers trying to expand a 4-point lead.
Now if you're Tom Green, you have to just say, hey, you got to stay close, and then when the game, you feel like the game's getting a little bit away from you, you got to get him back in there right away. You can't take any chances. Thompson
with the miss. Good Recovery defensively by Rutgers to get back. And now Ward hitting on the jumper. Makes it a 2-point game again. Lamarque Ward now with 4 points.
Well, you know, he had 25 the other night. As we mentioned, he had 31 and 10 double-doubles in the exhibition games as well.
That ball belongs to FDU, so they will get it back with a chance to tie or take the lead.
Rutgers trying to go a little back cut. They hit the left high post, then a quick backdoor cut. Nice job by FDU breaking that play up. And once again, Rutgers' opportunity here to build on a lead. Best player on the team, Ekwe, out of the ball game. This is when you got to really go after people.
There's Hammond. Got a pretty move to the hoop to tie the game at 32. And Hammond, big surprise now with 12 points in the game.
He has really asserted himself. And, you know, from the beginning, first shot he took, he was not shy. Makes a difference when you can have another answer.
And a reach-in foul as Billett was going to the hoop. It's going to go on Jarvis Mitchell.
You know, one man's misfortune is another man's opportunity. And right now, Hammond taking advantage.
Well, Tom Green, a guy who over his career has had 14 winning seasons in 17 years, is showing you why. Scrappy group of FDU Knights has it tied. Now in the Big East coaches poll for the preseason in the West Division, you see the Rutgers Scarlet Knights picked 7th. And this is the West Division. Of course, 7 teams now in the East Division as well, with the addition of Virginia Tech to the Big East.
The Hokies in the house.
That has also changed the way they're playing games in the scheduling. We'll talk about that a bit later on. Tie game, 15:48 to go. Greer, good look, but a good reaction for Ward for the takeaway.
Poor decision that time by Greer. Drove the basket and then kind of gave up his dribble after things didn't work out for him and just threw a bullet pass. Gotta have an idea in mind when you make that move to the basket.
Williams feeding inside, and Ward looks through. Bamayako for 3. And FDU is retaking the lead. Bamayako with 7. Sherrod has his shot blocked by Williams. And now a 2-on-1. And Ward bought the contact, but Jack, more than likely, I got to think that Ward would probably like to have that one back as he took it over to the side where he had a guy in another lane and really took his teammate out of the play.
Exactly. He should have kind of pulled it back a little bit and set the teammate up, but didn't do it. And on the flip side, Mike Sherrod, freshman mistake, trying to force the issue. Here he is right here. See, he has him right out of the corner of his eye. Bamayako, if he just had pulled it back to the right side a little bit, drew the defense to him, drive, draw, and dish, he would have had the layup. But if he makes these 2 free throws, they'll all be forgotten about. But Sherrod on the previous possession, setting up that opportunity by Ward, forces the issue, gets a shot blocked by Ike Williams. And the Knights taking advantage here with a 5-point lead. Now Kevin Bannon, a little decision time here in terms of what he wants to do with this squad. Going with the freshman, Sherrod.
And there is Sherrod into traffic. Got it.
He's not shy, that's for sure. He got a little bit of confidence, a little crossover going into from the left side into the lane.
6 points now for Sherrod.
Quick first step. He can get into the seam of your zone, get by on the first bounce.
But right by him is Ward in a pretty move under the hoop.
Ooh, that was sweet.
Greer for 3. Not going to fall. Good job by Williams to keep the rebound alive. Here's Hammond. Oh, he got caught in midair, bothered by Dabney, but got it back. Now Ward, in and out.
I'll tell you, Ward is an outstanding player.
And Kent's long outlet pass is thrown away. The ball will go back over to FDU now with a 5-point lead.
Look at this play here by Ward, going baseline. Oh my goodness. That was sweet. Ward out of Aiken High School in Cincinnati, went to South Plains Junior College. This is a guy who was one of the top 100 high school players coming out of high school. Didn't qualify, went to junior college. And FDU, Tom Green's done an outstanding job over the years kind of finding guys that people forget about. He's one of them. He is a good one. He could play at the next level.
Around the perimeter now for Fairleigh Dickinson, up by 5. And he traveled.
In a bit of a rush. He had the freshman there. He could sense it. Had Rashod on his back playing behind him. All he had to do was catch, settle, and make his move. In a bit of a rush, a little anxious. He's feeling it right now.
And his Ward's 3rd turnover, and overall for FDU, their 8th. Kent hadn't been a factor yet in the second half offensively. Now Rashod, 2nd try, and now he can be a factor.
Rashod, nice decision that time, driving into the lane and setting up Kent. Billett and Greer awfully quiet here. They need some response from those gentlemen on a Scarlet Knight end.
Little triangle game on that side of the floor, but Williams misfires badly on the reverse. 3-point FDU lead.
Rutgers not with that offensive firepower that you need to put a team away. When Ekway out of the game, you knew at some point FDU had another run on them, and now they've taken advantage.
Rashod can't find a spot, down to 7 on the timer. Makes his own spot and buys his way to the line, and a big foul there now as Williams is called for his 4th.
The ability in the final 10 seconds of the shot clock to have a player that can break you down off the bounce. And here's Rashod right here, getting to the right wing and drawing the foul. You must be able to put the ball to the deck, create a shot opportunity for yourself, draw the defense to you, and be able to dish. And last but not least, get in the air and draw fouls from people. And he has the ability early in his career to do that.
7 points now for Rashod. First free throw he has made here at the collegiate level. The freshman from Silver Spring, Maryland, and Springbrook High School. And he pulls the Scarlet Knights back within 1. Kevin Bannon's team has its hands full here at home this afternoon, with an FDU team that came in somewhat undermanned and has 2 big men in foul trouble.
Yeah, tempo has been so important. FDU has run their break when it's been there, but they've settled in nicely in their half-court offense. Bit of a rush shot that time.
And now Billett. He hasn't been heard from much thus far.
Mitchell's done a good job stringing him out, not letting him get to the rack.
Right, wants to dish off and finally does for Kent.
Look at Mitchell right into Billett. Not letting them get a lot of looks. He's a key to their defense today. Anywhere Billett goes, look at Mitchell right into him.
That time rubbed off on the screen by Kent, and Billett gets the open jumper.
You could point your finger at Mitchell, but it's not him. It's Ike Williams that time on a ball screen by Kent. Didn't hedge out and provide assistance for his teammate. Therefore, Mitchell gets stuck on a screen. Clean look for Billett.
Scarlet Knights retaking the lead, and now a traveling violation on Williams will lead us to a timeout. Well, the Scarlet Knights down by 5 have come back to take a 1-point lead. They've done it with inside, they've done it with transition, and with a big game from Rashod Kent with his 7th career double-double. Now, we were talking about how Rutgers could get Billett open, and they finally did.
Mitchell's done a great job on him, but watch this great ball screen by Kent. Ike Williams a little slow on getting out and showing. Mitchell got stuck on that big screen by Mr. Kent. And of course, when you get that clean a look and you're Todd Billett, I'm sorry, Jeff's on the bench. Todd will take care of business as his brother Jeff did for 4 years here at Rutgers.
There's Williams, who tried to get out and show beyond that screen, but he is playing with 4 fouls now.
Well, that's a situation. Do I switch out? Now he takes me off the bounce, or do I hedge and get back? But unfortunately, Mitchell, no match for the big fella Kent on the ball screen.
Here's Wright from the foul line. And Kareem Wright, the sophomore, drains the jumper. He's got 4.
And that's so important. Kareem Wright coming in, giving a little bit of a contribution, opening up the defense. Now they got to stretch out a little bit, and that opens up things inside for Kent as well as the perimeter players, Greer and Billett. Nice set play out of the timeout. Son of a good coach. Run it perfectly.
Rutgers was down by 5, now up by 3. And another violation traveling on Ward.
Well, Ward has a quick first step. He gets there and he kind of gets a little anxious. Instead of just gathering and taking it up, Tom Green trying to settle his troops down here. FDU. Now, when does the decision come to put Ekwe back in the game? How long do you hold on?
Greer can't get it to go. And another rebound for Kent. That's Billet. And the foul call on Williams. He just fouled out of the game. Well, now you don't have a decision about Ekwe. Now he's coming back.
I'd say so. And Kent causing that. They're talking a little junk now. They're exchanging pleasantries. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And Ike Williams fouling out right now. But Kent, look at the screen now. A little inadvertent love tap. And then Kent getting position inside. Ike Williams going over the back. Kent has bought Rutgers about 10 to 12 more opportunities at the basket today by his persistence on the offensive glass, Scott.
That's true. Now, Ekwe held to just 2 points in the 9 rebounds, largely because of his foul trouble. Don't think that Williams' contribution of no points really means as much, though, because he held the fort.
He sure did.
While Ekwe was out.
I mean, if you tell Tom Green, Ekwe only plays about 7 minutes today, with 10 minutes left in the game, stuck 3 on the road to Rutgers, a Big East team, I'd say he'd be thrilled.
Now he'll take his chances down this final 10-25. Nice set play on the inbound, but Greer couldn't hit it, and then committed the foul trying for the rebound.
Over the back, and how about Ekwe's numbers? He got 9 rebounds, kind of like Moses Malone. A lot on his own misses, you know?
Moses made a living out of that.
He sure did. His field goal percentage wasn't very good, but his rebound numbers were incredible.
Fairleigh Dickinson down by 3.
I'm sure he had a rebound clause in his contract.
Bamiyako from 3. Not a good shot, but a big rebound for Ward, and the short-range jumper won't go. And he stepped on the end line trying to save it, so Rutgers will get it back again with just a couple of ticks under 10 minutes left.
Bamiyako, not a pretty looking shot. Ward with a good hustle and a clean look, didn't take advantage. FDU hanging tough. Execution here in the half-court offense essential for Rutgers. Take care of business.
Greer, nice look for Wright. And he's going to have a chance at a 3-point play.
Nothing like having guard play to set up the table for you.
Nothing like having 285 pounds to not get knocked off course.
You ain't kidding, but Greer with a beautiful drive here, taking the ball to the basket. Watch Greer get inside, and then Wright, he could take the hammer from anybody. Hammond, you know, it's the old line, are you the hammer or the nail? And I'd say Mr. Wright, as he takes the ball to the basket, was the hammer in that sequence.
That's 210 versus 285 in that collision.
I'd say Mr. Hammond was the nail in that sequence.
Now here comes the crowd to life now at the rack as Rutgers is enjoying a 6-point lead. Bamiyako on the take, a chance for a 3-point play.
Bamiyako threw up a brick the last time, and he's banging himself on the head. I should have done that the last time. Sweet move here. Taking Brown to the basket, getting inside, going right at right. A little slow foot inside there. Opportunity to convert for a 3-point play the old-fashioned way. And Bamiyako has not had big numbers today, 9 points. And nonetheless.
There goes Kareem Wright back out of the game. Or at least so he thought.
Now they have 6 guys on the court.
That doesn't work. So Kent will go out of the game as Dabney checked back in.
I always love it when guys are like secretive about what they're going to do, coaches. And I'm like, you know what? Unless you're putting 6 guys on the court, you're not doing anything I haven't seen before. Power play, you know, all that. If you got a power play, I like it. I'd be impressed.
Right.
5 on 5.
Rutgers in an 11-2 run right now. Sherrod missing. Good play by Billet to come up with the rebound. And he missed. And Bamiyako clears the board away.
Good decision to pull it out.
Hammond got the 3. 1-point game.
He's feeling it. What an afternoon for Hammond. 15 points. Great decision that time by Ward to pull it out and hit the trailer for the clean look. And this is when you find out about your team's ability to execute in the half court.
Brown can't hit, and FDU is going to come down now with a chance to retake the lead.
And I'm not sure if Brown is your number 1 or 2 option in that sequence.
And a push-off foul going to be called on the floor against Rutgers, and that one is going to go against Todd Billett.
You know, Brown, even though he got the clean look, he's a guy that's like a secondary player for you. In that sequence, FDU making a run, that's when you want to go inside and, you know, get Dabney involved and try to run some things to get Billett going. But that time, a quick shot by Brown in the right corner.
Ward trying to post up on Sherrod. He's tried to do this several times now. Little help from Wright. That changed the shot. Ekwe the putback. And FDU is taking the lead.
Anytime you have a player like Dabney and Wright go for the block shot, that leaves the backside open on the backboards, and that's exactly what happened. No rotation on the backside. And Ekwe taking care of business.
That's where you want to go. Ekwe's got 4 fouls, but Dabney can't hit it. 10 rebounds now for Ekwe. And a turnover on the outlet pass will give it back over again to Rutgers.
Unforced turnover.
Now Tom Green has to be very happy with what he has seen so far. An overtime win on Friday night. And right now taking it right at the Big East team. Chris Ekwe puts his team in front with under 8 minutes left.
Nice to
46-45. Fairleigh Dickinson on top with 7:45 left to go here in this one. And Rutgers in their season opener has had difficulty throwing the knockout punch. And there you can see second half shooting numbers. Not good for either side. FDU right now is in the middle of a 7-0 run.
And you look at the number of 3-point shots taken by Rutgers, only 2, and they haven't made any. The defense on Billett and Greer on the perimeter have been real good. They've been forced to penetrate quite a bit.
Greer got an open look from 3 and drained it.
That must sound prophetic. They come out and play a little zone. Tom Green mixes it up that time, goes zone, gives up the clean look. We're taking advantage, just what the clock ordered.
In that case, certainly. 6 points now for Greer.
Loosens things up a little bit.
But right now, that is where they're playing Ward. And a blocking foul is going to be called on Renardo Brown. That's going to put Rutgers up over the limit, and it'll send Lamarque Ward to the line for a 1-and-1.
Ward last year, good free throw shooter, shot 75% from the line. And I like this strategy. You know, you go inside, and now what it does too, you're going little on little inside, and you bring a shot blocker over, and now it really creates mayhem on the backside on the boards. And FDU's taken advantage a few times today. And I think you go with, there are a lot of young, smaller players that have post skills. Ward with the first free throw there, and a lot of times coaches are reluctant to go to them because, well, you know, it doesn't look right. Well, if the guy can score in the post and operate and make decisions, you go to him, and Ward has a nice presence inside there.
That one doesn't go. And you saw the coaches on the sideline.
Danny Hurley there.
Danny Hurley and Jeff Billett.
I coached Danny at Villanova basketball camp when he was a little kid. Thankfully for him, he went home then, and Dad straightened him out after I coached him for a week. Great kid. Many years ago.
Guys used to be opponents at one time, playing back in high school. Long range doesn't go for Sherrod, and FDU down with a chance to retake the lead.
Got to cover that guy in transition. He's done a great job today, Hammond.
Ekwe trying to get in. Good look for Ward, and that 3 isn't going to go. But look at Ekwe inside.
Good decision. Great job. That was a beautiful pass he threw to the corner to Ward on the left side. This guy just battles you. He's the freshest guy in the court. He's barely played.
He's got 12 rebounds here in his limited time, and now a push-off foul going to come inside on Brown.
Brown, and once again, Tom Green trying to post up Lamarque Ward inside, and Now Jeff Billett will come back in the game here in a moment.
So Todd Billett back in now, and Brown back out of the game.
Interesting, we have two players from Flint, Michigan, Renardo Brown and Jarvis Mitchell, both from Flint. Great players out of there.
Guys like Mateen Cleaves.
Mo Peterson.
First one is good. That Flint connection got Michigan State a national championship.
How about them beating the Globetrotters the other night? First time since 1962 college team knocked off the Globetrotters.
Now, is that right? Are you supposed to beat the Globetrotters?
I'll tell you what, that is not an easy game because those teams, that team is so well choreographed what they do. Once again, on the boards, Ekwe.
13 boards on the game. Bamayako misses. Big rebound for Ward. Now Ekwe with the finish.
Kevin Bannon needs a timeout here.
And that's what he's going to do. He'll take one with 6:03 to go. FDU with a 2-point lead, and what at least would be categorized as a surprise, you would assume, because FDU came in here today against Kevin Bannon's team in short numbers, and as you mentioned, less than 48 hours outside their last game early in the season, and they've hung right in.
And look at their board coverage, though. I mean, rebound there by Ward, and then inside, to the big fella, Ekwe for the finish. They have just been relentless in their effort. Good time out here by Kevin Bannon. You always feel like the knot in your stomach really tighten up quick. I felt it right in my stomach, even though I'm not on the sideline anymore. Right away, it's instinctual. You know when you've got to call timeout to break the run here. Now, if you're Kevin Bannon, you run a set play here, go inside, have the power game set up a clean look on the perimeter for you, but try to establish the power game. Triangle and two here. Look by FDU.
Dabney wide open, draining the 13-footer and ties the game again at 50.
Good discipline and patience that time. Dabney presented himself at the foul line area. Nobody in the triangle picked him up. Good luck.
He's got 9. Ward can't get it to go, and Ekwe just fouled out of the game.
Oh, boy.
Well, that's going to change things dramatically because now FDU has lost both parts of its inside presence in a tie game with 5.5 minutes left.
And once again, Tom Green play call. They go inside, try to get Ward going, and here's Ekwe going on the weak side. Loose ball. Greer, even though he didn't block him out, happened to be in the neighborhood, and it was good effort that time. Loose ball rebound, and Greer can hold his own inside on the boards. Averaged close to 5 rebounds a game last year. And even though this guy didn't have a big game in terms of points, I'll tell you what, I'll take him on my team any day of the week. He competes.
Well, now FDU gets decidedly smaller. Ekwe at 6'8" out of the game, and Mensa Peterson, a freshman, at 6'2", will check into the game.
Mensa Peter, 3 points in 5 minutes the other night against Drexel. Good combo guard out of North Brunswick High School here in New Jersey. New Brunswick, I'm sorry.
Sherrod almost has it taken and does. Here comes Ward with Greer on his hip, hits the shot, and a chance for a 3-point play. I'll tell you what else is FDU going to weather to stay in this game?
They find a way, and I tell you what, if you're Rutgers right now, this is when you find out about your internal leadership. Turnover here, poor pass. Sherrod leaves his feet. That's a no-no because now you have to pass. Good job by Ward shooting the gap, picking it off. But you don't ever leave your feet. Little touch foul by Greer, but you know Sherrod's got to learn when you penetrate and leave your feet, you must mean you're going to shoot. Because if you leave your feet, try to kick it from a long way, that's a turnover waiting to happen. This is when you find out about your internal leadership, Scott. What your team is made of. Greer, your senior, and your leadership from your point guard position in Billett.
3-point ball game, just about 5 minutes left. And Dabney walks. Kevin Bannon is furious. He is furious.
You know, I'm not even sure if he walked, but it looked awkward. And a lot of times referees watch your upper body rather than your pivot feet. It looked awkward.
It looked very awkward.
And I honestly don't know whether he dragged his foot or not, but I know Kevin Bannon didn't agree with the call.
Outside, Hammond. In and out on the 3, and that's where the loss of Ekwe will hurt them.
Oh my goodness, that ball was that close to being down.
15th rebound for Kent, and now Bannon wants a timeout.
Living on the edge.
But right there you saw for the remainder of the game where the big problem will come and where the big advantage will come for Rutgers, in that Kent had no one to contend with him for that rebound.
You're right, but on the other hand, when you talk about matchups, now if you're Rutgers defensively, how do your two front court people match up? Hammond has shot the ball well on the perimeter, so now you've got to send either Dabney or Kent out to lock in and play perimeter defense against a guy who's shot the ball well on the three-point line, as well as the fact now with Peterson in the game, they're smaller, they can spread you out, go a lot of draw and kick action, and really cause some problems in terms of dribble penetration, helping recover situations with your defense. So as much as it's advantage offensively, defensively now in your matchups, you got to be concerned with your other big man, how he can defend in the sequences.
Tom Green, not a guy that shows a tremendous amount of emotion on the sideline.
He's not dying of a heart attack. He's just chilling out.
And now a foul call down in the paint as FDU's hanging on, trying to stay with Kent. The foul call will go against Lamarcus Ward.
I was never able to do that, Scott, when I coach. Sit down, relax, be cerebral, under control.
Yeah, you didn't have a lot of John Wooden in you, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't have like 25 All-Americans on my team either. John Wooden had a few good players.
One or two.
You could sit there and relax with the rolled-up program and look pretty intelligent. 10 titles in 12 years. Good, great coach, of course.
Kent with the 1-and-1. Can't hit on the shot. And a lane violation means he's going to get another crack at it. Like Ward got into the lane too early. There's your problem right now, though. Lamarcus Ward is on the inside block at 6'3". He's your rebounder.
And they're trying to pinch right here on the big fella Dabney inside, and Kent's got to take care of business here at the free throw line.
And Greer, the beneficiary of the bounce, gets his team back within one.
One positive, when you play with a guy that doesn't shoot free throws well, you're very alert in terms of your effort going for the offensive glass, because you say, you know what, this one's probably going to come off.
Here comes the Rutgers crowd again. Trouble with the handle and a turnover on the first touch for Mensa Peterson.
And he's a Jersey kid, big game, the State University here. Rutgers trying to do a little too much. Let the game come to you.
Point guard at North Brunswick, not far from here.
Rutgers running a high 1-4 set. They'll get Phillip involved here.
There's his touch. Taking Mitchell toward the hole, backed him off, couldn't hit it.
Great defense that time by Mitchell.
Kent with the jam to boot. Rutgers goes in front by a point.
Kent has made every big play today for this Rutgers squad, bailing them out a number of times on the glass, and that time with the steal and dunk.
16 points, 15 rebounds for Kent. Tom Green wants his team to move the ball. In turn, they lose the ball. And with 3:32 to go and all of the momentum, the crowd an opportunity to jump on its feet as we have a timeout on the floor. Rashod Kent has done it all here today, including put his team back in front with under 4 minutes left. We'll be back to the rec right after this. On our way right down to the wire. Here in the opener for Rutgers in game number 2 for Fairleigh Dickinson. Hasn't been more than a 6-point lead here this afternoon for either team.
When you look at Rutgers, at least I'm sure they're a little happier than the football team yesterday. Notre Dame came in here, took care of business. And the big man right there, he has truly taken care of business today.
Now you want to talk about the football team. They probably could have used him all year. 6'6", 265. And there is Lamarcus Ward. He will be a big guy that they'll be looking for down the stretch here in a 1-point game.
He's the centerpiece of their low post attack at 6'4", without Williams and Ekwe in the game.
Both have fouled out.
FDU in a 2-3 zone.
Good job to cut off Billett by Peterson, and now Kent. There he goes again.
FDU cannot stop him inside. Good patience going top side top. Back to the wing again. And inside to the big fella. Carving out space. No contest.
Kwame Baliako can't hit. And there's Dabney down with a rebound. And now
tempo.
You can sense the control going over to the Scarlet Knights here in the last 3 minutes.
And you don't want to be too cautious now. You want to play your game, but attack the defense appropriately, probe against the zone, work and get a good shot. This defense is really extended on the perimeter. Got to get some movement in the zone offense here. Dabney with the screen.
Billett. Oh, he got a tough shot.
I think that time Hammond might have got a piece of that as well. That was a real difficult shot. Some lane intimidation there as he drove it. Good concentration by Billett on the penetration.
Coming up on 2 minutes left. And the ball knocked away by Kent with 2:04 to go and 21 left on the timer.
No rush here for FDU. You know, with this unit, small team. Look at this move here. Billett changing speeds, pulling it back, and then taking the ball right at Hammond.
Looked a lot like his big brother. And now Hammond. Oh, they're going to wave it off. No shot, but a foul on the floor on Dabney. Well, that would have been big had it been a chance for a three-point play.
No doubt. And Tom Green's unit right now, even though they're overmatched size-wise, they still have the quicks. And that time, Mitchell, who does such a nice job getting into the seams defensively, offensively, getting by people, setting the table, that time for Hammond. Hammond's played a well the game today.
Been super, 15 points. That is his first free throw miss.
Two-possession game here. Plenty of time for the Knights versus the Scarlet Knights.
1 out of 2.
You see those free throw numbers. Early in the season, those numbers normally a little lower. Fatigue is still a factor. As the season goes on, it works itself out.
4-point ball game. Rutgers spreading the floor now, using a little time. Billett. That could have been a dagger. Dabney, big rebound, stripped to the basketball, no foul. Nice quick hands again by Peterson inside.
Scott, how about the screen that Kent sent here? Back end of that Billett with the clean look, and then Dabney on the glass almost converts, but Kent got him wide open on the left baseline. I tell you what, Billett does a real nice job too, setting himself up, rubbing off the shoulder. Kent is like a human screen. If I were a shooter, I'd love playing with him. Get you open all the time. Just use him.
He's done a great job with it here today. And now the reach-in foul on Peterson is going to send Sherrod to the line with 1:26 left to go.
Good foul by FDU because you're in the one-on-one. It's a live ball on the first free throw. And you know what? If you're going to foul anyone, foul the freshman. Tom Green, two-possession game here. Shorten the game here.
I would also imagine that Kent is not going to get too many looks unless he's right by the basket. Because you don't want him fouled.
Oh, that's a good point. Thanks, Coach.
Sherrod, big 1-and-1, and the freshman hits on the first.
You find out a little bit of something about guys in these moments. You know, they have the stat, what a guy's shooting the final 5 minutes of the game, and today he shot 3 for 5 overall, 8 points on the game for Mike Sherrod.
Also
nice
six assists to go with it. 1 out of 2 there, 5-point game again. Coming up on 1:20 left to go. Down to the point where the Knights of FDU need a basket right here. Peterson set up for 3. Can't get it. Big rebound. And an opportunity now for 2 shots for Lamarquis Ward, who saved at least the game for the time being for FDU by coming up with that offensive glass.
Peterson with a nice look that time at the top of the key, and give Ward credit. He sprinted directly down the lane. Rutgers a little bit slow in their matchups, walking out, and took advantage. Ward, and we have a foul out here.
Yep, that is Greer, who was fouled out of the game, getting his 5th.
Jeff Greer today 8 points on the afternoon for the Scarlet Knights. And of course, you take your 30 seconds and huddle up and reorganize. And I'm sure if you're Kevin Banner right now, you talk about 2 things. First of all, free throw line blockouts, you know, on the second free throw. And second of all, you talk about your press attack, because FDU, I can guarantee you, is going to show a little 1-2-1-1 full court pressure. So you go over press offense, and you also say to you guys, by the way, fellas, we do have timeouts.
Greer fouls out with 8 points. And now here's Lamarquis Ward, 12 points, 10 boards, a double-double. 5 for 7 from the line. Now make it 6 out of 8. And this shot would make it a one-possession game again with under a minute to go.
Tom Green, win or lose, got to be proud of his ball club. This game, he brings a stretch of 10 of the next 11 on the road.
Pair of them, and there's a quick timeout to set up that pressure. Now, the other thing that you're talking about on the sideline here, Coach, is the fact that who are we fouling in this situation if we indeed do, because we have one more 1-and-1 situation left.
That's right, and obviously I think Rashod Kent is not part of the equation in terms of the press offense. You try to get him out of the picture, and you try to get the ball in. Obviously, Billett is the guy you want at the free throw line, 82%. And you don't necessarily have to, if you're FDU here, give a foul. I mean, you could say, hey, we're going to play it out here for the 35 seconds. We're going to play it as a one-possession game. Now, Tom Green's got to make a decision. Do I play this as a two-possession game here, or do I foul right away?
My guess is you probably only use the foul here if it's a guy that you want on the line.
Exactly. And my point is, Billett gets it. Let him play. You know, obviously, you know, Brown is a good free throw shooter. Sherrod has shown the capability of doing it. Dabney, 62% a year ago. So the one guy, I think, if Kent gets it at all, I think you give the foul. If not, you might want to play it out here. But that's why you get paid the big bucks.
And a foul call before the inbound on Mensa Peterson is going to send Bernardo Brown to the free throw line.
Well, it's going to be two-shot foul anyway. At least no time comes off the clock. And now you get 2 shots here. You know, Rutgers, this is a big game for them to start their season. They play their first 6, Scott, at home. 7 of their first 9. They're only 2 road games at Florida. They're not a bad team, by the way. At Princeton, which is a short trip. And then after that, they play at the Holiday Festival. So not a lot of frequent flyer points for the Scarlet Knights early on.
Missing on the front end of the 1-and-1. And so now FDU can get within 1 or tie. Peterson wants all of it right there. Can't get it. Sherrod, big rebound, and he is fouled with 49.2 to go.
Confidence with a capital C on the part of the freshman Peterson from the left corner there. Good look, though, in transition. That's normally when you get your best looks, but
hey, you can't have a conscience with that shot. You have to take that shot.
You got to take it, and particularly you get your best. You know, I've always found when you try to set your team up to get the 3, you don't get a good look. In transition, when the defense is scrambled and someone forgets to call out a matchup, and usually it's the guy like a freshman. That's a great look. Got to take it. I mean, Dabney was a little late getting out. He had a clean look at the basket and didn't make it, but you know what? He's going to be a good player down the road, Peterson, for them. And all Middlesex County, top 25 player in New Jersey, and makes the first one with Sherrod. You'll show a little confidence in yourself, and the coach is showing a little confidence in him as well.
You said Kevin Bannett's finding something out about that young man right here. Tight ball game, late in the game, hitting the free throws.
Almost a double-double here.
He has 6 assists.
And there you go. Back to a 5-point game now. FDU's got to toss one and reasonably quickly. If the 2's there, you take it. If the 3's there, you take that. You need 1 of each. Bamayako hits a 3. And a quick timeout. Oh, my. Makes it a 2-point game again. Lionel Bamayako with a tough, off-balance 3-pointer to keep this a ball game.
That was a contested shot. Only the real good shooters can make that. Watch this right here. Good defense by Brown up top, and he gives him all he can handle. Just elevates and shoots directly over him and nails it. Again, Brown with good defensive pressure out top. Just opening up the floor there. Lost a little bit. Bamayako, bang, nailing it. We got ourselves a good ball game here today.
And this one is far from over, so it would appear. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Rutgers owns the possession arrow. And every foul from here on in is a 2-shot foul.
And if you're Tom Green right here, I don't necessarily think you give the foul right away. I think you try to go 3 or 4 seconds. I think you roll the dice here, try to maybe face dog defensively and go for the steal. If not, then give the foul. 32 seconds, particularly with 2 timeouts, is an eternity. Try to go for the steal here. Be aggressive. If not, bang, give the foul.
Rutgers obviously will try to keep the ball for Kevin Bannett in the hands of their better free throw shooters.
And you talk to your players as well about the fact, hey, fellas, we do have 2 timeouts on offensively. Any trouble whatsoever, don't try to force a play here. High percentage decisions in everything that you do.
Yeah, let's see. Trying to get Billett open.
There you go.
Contested pass, and Mitchell flicks it away.
They ran Billett that time off a double screen. Dabney and Kent brought him over to the ball side, but good reaction that time and rolling the dice on the gamble. They are face dogging.
And they got to use the timeout.
They're doing exactly what I said there, Scott. They don't have anyone on the ball right now. They're face dogging, so now they can switch defensively, and it's 4 guys inbounds offensively going against 5 defenders. So now you've really got to execute your press offense in terms of screens and movement without the ball. And you know what? The one thing that FDU has right at this moment is quickness on the floor. So they don't have an Ikwe and a Williams. Hard to spit that one out, Jeff. But they have the thing you want right this moment, and that's team quickness, and they're doing a good job with that.
Well, you saw it right there as Mitchell stepped in front. So now Rutgers with 1 timeout remaining, and they do have the possession arrow should there be a tied-up ball.
Once again, you know, obviously they're trying to get Billett open, and they're using Dabney and Kent to set the screen. But now this time they have Billett set up at half court. Try to spread the floor out a little bit, stretch the defense.
Long pass down floor and taken away. FDU down by 2 with the basketball. Under 30 seconds to go. Ward in traffic, throws it away. The ball off Rutgers will belong to FDU.
You know what? They had Dabney's going down court. They had Billett wide open. He set the screen and ran right back. He was wide open. Now if you're FDU, do you go for the 3? Do you go for the win on the road? Or do you go for the quick 2?
And now a whistle and a foul call.
Oh boy, that time Renardo Brown with the hold. We talked about that. No hand checking. Can't bang cutters. And now we have 2 free throws. Opportunity for a tie game.
Lionel Bomayako, who hit the 3-pointer to get FDU within 2, now has a chance to finish what he started and tie this game up. And now he can only make 1 out of 2. The question is, do you make this one?
I think you make it plenty of time. 1 possession game still.
Missed on that. Big rebound, Kent. Here come the Scarlet Knights. And Bomayako just missed the 2. Commits the foul.
Not only is it big that Kent got the rebound, it's big that Kent got rid of it and didn't get fouled.
For the FDU fans that are here in attendance, tell you what, quite an effort here today, and within those free throws that tie in the game. And Bomayako hearing about it now from Mitchell, saying, you know, you got us this far. But 2 misses there. Kent, quick hands for the rebound. Quicker gun to get rid of it on the outlet pass, and he now has a career-high 16 rebounds.
Billett on the previous possession wide open, and they throw it away to Dabney. If you're Kevin Bannon, you're like, oh my goodness, this might not be our day. And then 2 missed free throws. Opportunity to close the deal here.
Sherrod needs to make 1 more to make this a 2-possession game. He's been money from the free throw line here down the stretch. First game is a Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
He's got a presence on the floor. I mean, he knows he's good, and he exerts himself. I mean, there's no hesitation. I love his body language. I mean, it's one of confidence.
There it is. And now a timeout called for. Rutgers going to set it up with a 4-point lead and 14.4 to go. Tom Green's going to have to get something going quickly here, and as a coach defensively in this situation, what Tom Green will be up against is probably a Rutgers team doing nothing more than trying to slow up FDU on the way down the floor.
I wouldn't be surprised right now. Kevin Bannon on occasion likes to use a soft 2-1-2, 3/4 court pressure. Make him kill time, make him probe a little bit. If not, put your guards in the backcourt at least, and just encourage them to keep the guy in front of them, kill a little clock. If you're FDU right now, you've got to always, you can't worry about the scoreboard right now. You've got to worry about the fact that we're down 2 possessions. So you get the best shot you can as quickly as you can. So if it's a layup all the way to the basket, they give it to you, take it. If it's a wide open three, take it. But you don't necessarily set yourself up for the three or running a certain play. But the key is right now, Rutgers can't take this play off. Sometimes teams are so concerned with fouling and stopping the clock that they let a team score too quick and give an opportunity to still have a chance. Rutgers has to slow them down here just enough to buy the time to run this clock out, even if FDU gets a score.
14.4 to go. And FDU needs 2 possessions now. They've got to score with number 1 quickly. Mitchell needs to push it up the floor. He'll let him go. And he gets the basket. Now the quick timeout. FDU has 1 remaining. Rutgers does not have a timeout for this inbound
play.
That's
a good point, Scott. And 6 seconds went off the clock there. Plenty of time left. Now, if I'm Tom Green here, you definitely go with face dog pressure. That worked out great. The last 2 sequences, nobody on the ball. Face dog right now. And again, go for the steal. Last play here, Jarvis Mitchell going to the basket coast to coast. That time, Billett allowed him to have a little bit too much of a head of steam going up court.
Well, we said the idea was to slow him up, and that was not slowing him up enough. Mitchell's got some good speed.
And Rutgers, I think you run the same inbound play that you ran the last time. Even though you threw the pass away to Dabney going long, you do the same exact thing. This time, you make sure you get the ball to a guy that wears number 22, Billett. Get him the ball. They're going to run the same thing again. Here we go. Same play as they ran the last time.
Well, here it is. No timeouts for Rutgers.
Thank you.
And Billett's got the ball. And fouled by Bamayako now with 6.1 left in the game.
You know, anytime a team doesn't have a guy on the ball and they face dog you, the most important thing you can do from an offensive standpoint tactically with your press offense is spread the floor out. So make people cover a lot of real estate. And that time the inbounder made the correct decision. Instead of throwing long to Dabney, the low percentage, you make the high percentage. Get the ball to the guy who can make a few free throws.
2 shots for Billett. Missing on the first, and the door stays open.
Well, we want to have, we want to keep the thing interesting.
Remember, FDU with 1 timeout remaining. Rutgers is going to put nobody on. There's nobody on the line. FDU will have a shot at this thing. There it is.
You give the foul. Here's the decision. Now Tom Green calls the timeout. You know, and there's a school of thought here. Tom Green calls a timeout with 6 seconds left. Kevin Bannon doesn't have a timeout left. So now, do you let the ball go through the basket and push it up court? A lot of times you get a better look at the basket in transition between offense to defense to offense, rather than calling the timeout, setting the play, and now allowing the opposition coach who doesn't have a timeout left to now set his defense. If I'm Kevin Bannon, I think I'd give a foul here.
One thing that Bob Knight always said when he was coaching at Indiana, it's kind of funny to talk about that in past tense now.
The general.
Yeah, one of the things he always said was he would never call timeout in that situation because he always believed that his team was better prepared than the opposition.
Well, you know, but you know what? In Tom Green's case, he's had so many injuries this year. I mean, he's down to 8 players. A lot of times, your organization and your role definition late in games isn't there yet, particularly early in the season. So you really want to make sure you choreograph this last possession.
6 out of 22 from 3-point range, and that's the basket they need now to tie the game. Here comes Mitchell. Kevin Bannon just said foul him. He didn't get the foul. Mitchell, the runner, couldn't get it at the buzzer, and Rutgers hangs on for a win in the opener. Picture of dejection is Jarvis Mitchell. He got 1 look at the basket from 3-point range and couldn't get it to fall. Rutgers hangs on for a 3-point win. On that final play, Kevin Bannon told Billett foul him, but by the time he said it, Billett couldn't catch up.
Not a bad look for FDU on that final play, and what a terrific ball game to open up our season here. And here we go, the last play of the game, and here's Billett trying to give the foul right at this moment. Mitchell just gets by him, and his feet are beyond the 3-point line. That would have counted.
Here it is, Bill. You saw him getting the advice from Bannon, and then the reach couldn't get there.
And they tried running a little screen for Ward coming off. That was the original intent of the play. They brought Ward off a screen on the left side. Good job by Rutgers getting through that. Renardo Brown challenging him. And school's fight song.
Standing at attention here on the court at the rack. Rutgers 1-0 now, winning here in their home opener over a very pesky Fairleigh Dickinson team that stays within 3. Rutgers, you got to feel good about the fact that you survived here today, but you also saw a lot of things that you are going to have to work on during the course of the season.
No doubt, and I think if you look at it too from an FDU standpoint, Ekwe didn't play a whole lot today, and the encouraging aspect is I think Matt Hammond has established himself really as a player that's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Northeast Conference. And you got to compliment Mike Sherrod, the freshman, ice water in the veins, making big plays. First game as a college player. He's got a nice future here in Piscataway.
There's Kevin Bannon getting a hug from his son Tommy. Now let's take him down to Mick Moninghoff.
Coach, great come from behind effort today.
It was a hard-fought game. You have to give FDU an incredible amount of credit. With those guys fouled out, their kids stepped up, and they really have great toughness on that team.
You did establish that game inside.
Yeah, we did. It's important for us. We think for us to be any good this year, we have to have a balance of inside-outside, and that's one of the high points of the game. I think we played well around the basket to balance career and build it outside.
You got the play from Kent. That's what you're going to need further on down the line.
Definitely. You know, I think the good thing about today also is that I thought we played pretty well defensively without getting in a lot of foul trouble interior-wise, and we're obviously going to need to do that.
Coach, we'll see you in a week.
Okay, thanks, Mick.
All right, let's go back to courtside.
Well, Mick, thank you much. Our leading scorers, Hammond 16 to pace FDU today. 4 players in double figures. Kent, 7th career double-double. Huge game, 18 points, 16 boards. And Sherrod, the freshman in his Rutgers debut, 12 points and the key free throws down the stretch as the Scarlet Knights hang on over FDU. Rutgers next plays Lafayette here on Tuesday. Fairleigh Dickinson plays next Saturday at Buffalo. Today's game produced by Tony Smith and directed by John Anderson. And now for Jack Armstrong, this is Scott Graham. We thank you for joining us as Rutgers wins their home opener today, beating Fairleigh Dickinson by a final score of 64-61. We thank you for joining us from the rack at Rutgers.
Notice the